I did, but
It is now 6:30. I'm going to call the October 29th budget workshop to terms. Let's raise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Massey. I got a seat for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll be right back.
We'll wait for you.
you don't go to the public comment.
Yeah, we'll start with that. So we'll start with the public comment. There is no one here for public comment. So we will bypass that. All right, next is new business. Discussion of fiscal year 2026 budget. This is what we're here for. So as for the numbers that's pertaining to us, we're going to do the best that we can, is what I can say. Speaking with George Luff, I actually spoke with him today, just so everybody is aware. The biggest thing we're trying to figure out is cash flow in and out. The problem they're having with that is for the past years and years, the deposits have been put into our general fund account and have not been itemized from there. So they don't know when at the end of the week, where the deposit money, what particular account they went to. So that's something that they're gonna be working on, obviously extensively, to get that finalized. So right now, we're gonna have to work with the numbers that we have.
I mean, is there a timeline on?
The timeline that I had, so it depends on what they fall into. Right now, the quickest that they would even think that they could do it was 3 months, which is obviously past the time that we need to obviously allocate the budget for 2026. I would say we need to pass, obviously, the budget based off the information that we are provided. Unfortunately, I got a feeling a lot of this information that is provided is not as accurate as we would hope, simply because of when speaking with Mr. Luff, they're not itemized, so how we determine through these numbers here which one is true and which one is not, it's kind of a shot in the dark. I'd say we look at the total expenses for everything and just pass a budget to allocate for all the expenses that we will definitely need to have, and then have to amend the budget for 2026, unfortunately.
So I'm looking at the proposed tax rate of 45 cents per 100.
Mm-hmm.
That's higher than what I was thinking. I was thinking somewhere around like 28 to like 33 cents. Cause that's gonna put us, I don't know, just shy of 20 grand short of a $100,000 increase in collection of real estate taxes.
So if you look at the screen here, I can show you what that, so you said 28 cents would generate less revenue than what we billed last year.
Where do we have to be, say, where we were at last year? Can we start there and work our way up? So at 35 cents, that puts us $34.50 puts us at $213. So 33 is about where you're gonna base out at, so we start at 33.
So I can show you what changing the tax rate to 33 cents does to the bottom line here.
Okay.
We're still negative 7,000.
74,000.
74,000, yeah.
But is that including all the extra legal fees and stuff we've incurred this year, the investigation costs?
No.
That's just, we're just 74 grand in the hole.
Yes,
Okay. Cause I know we've overshot the legal budget by a lot.
We overshot the legal budget before any of these investigations. even happened.
Oh, no, 100%. No, the legal budget was overshot a lot,
Yeah,
period.
that's what we needed, well,
So-
good.
I was gonna say, I have increased the auditing expenses, and that's a big part, this is a big part of why the expenses are higher than last year,
Okay.
is I've increased the auditing services to a more realistic number, along with legal services, to hopefully, this is to me hopefully more realistic. And I would like to see the ordinance amended so that we can collect legal fees, not just engineering fees from project applicants.
I totally agree with
I
that,
agree with that.
100%.
So the 45 cents will put us, we'll balance the budget.
45 cents, I think, let me go back to that.
According to this, you'll have $79.
Yes,
So then to decrease it, you're gonna be in the same situation that we've been for several years. You're gonna be in the hole.
and there are no frills in this budget. I mean, your biggest expenses are your salaries, and we can look at what the proposed raises are, and they're not outlandish. This is the amounts that I was working with. This is what the current salaries are for these positions here. And then this is the proposed salary for each of those positions. And as you can see, none of them are, huge increases.
No. So with that 45, that's included with that
Yes.
increase in that, so that includes okay.
And if you want any of these changed, these proposed amounts changed, we can do that and then see what it does to the salary lines, because all of this is connected, it'll change over here. So that's up to you.
I personally don't wanna touch the salary line. That's just me.
I mean, I
I
will
think-
say that we have a number of employees that really are underpaid.
Okay, I completely agree with that too.
And even at these rates, you're still not where other municipalities are.
No, the cost of living isn't getting any better.
No,
But then we also have to take that into account as far as our residents too, so.
right,
So I mean, it's 45 cents will put us basically in the general area that we were prior to the reassessment, is that correct?
it will put us, about $80,000 higher in revenue than where we were before.
But I mean, it's not gonna be extremely high for anybody and
Well, we can look at specific properties here. If you wanna see how it affects. I'll make sure this is, I'll put this back here.
I mean, it's not gonna double or triple or whatever.
I mean, some of them it will,
But some of them were down,
Some
were
of
so
them
low
were-
anyway.
yeah.
So to double some wouldn't be a burden on them, I wouldn't think, because they were so low to begin with.
No, this is a big one, but that's a business.
That was line 57, that's a business as well.
You can throw my house up there if you want, I don't really care. That's residential, it's been there for a while, and we'll see where that lands, I'm curious.
Okay,
101 Beaver.
easiest way to find it. Actually, it would be.
The previous was 414.90.
No, that would be your current bill,
Previous
you were
one's
billed
241.
$241.50 last
Okay,
year.
so 241.50,
Yes.
alright.
And, oh, sorry, Carolyn and I went through each one of the bills from last year manually to make sure that what I thought should have been billed, you know, my math matched what was actually billed, so this
Right.
is what was actually billed here.
So mine goes up like, not quite $200, like 170.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else wanna volunteer to throw theirs up there and take a look?
Yeah, I got mine in 23 governors.
I'm just curious,
That's on a price-
everybody's got different
price.
size houses, you know what I mean? Different size lots.
Price.
Oh, I was about to ask.
But no more rooms up there.
Yeah, we're up
Take him out and.
Look,
100%.
Yeah, yours doubles.
Yours doubles.
Do the Nelson.
Curiosity.
Salaries, salaries, it was $226,000 for 2026.
Yours are over doubles.
here's one double down.
That one's you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Payroll PD, 226,193.76. The numbers.
If we do, what if we did 42 and a half on whatever,
I mean,
we'd still have
it's
the
How
ability
did
to
that work for you?
keep it a little tighter, you think?
I'm thinking.
Give me 1 second. Here.
Sorry, I don't mean to sidetrack you, I
No,
just.
it's okay, I'm just gonna,
That could be a major difference.
I just printed 6 copies of it, sorry. But it's printing right now. Okay, amen.
Thank you.
Chief, is that Miss Green?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got.
I hadn't had the
Neither,
opportunity.
yeah.
Had not had the opportunity. I've
I
been-
just introduced her to everybody.
Okay, I'm sorry, like, my job lately has been like,
I get it. I think everyone
I was
has.
gonna say, you're not alone. You're not alone.
Now, from my understanding with this taxes, we can adjust the tax rate difference with commercial than we can with residential. The bill had just passed,
Yes,
A
and I
month
did
ago.
not
you didn't adjust
project
that at
that
all.
way, no.
Okay. That might be something to take a look at,
that's, yep.
Okay,
cause that it would increase some of the businesses, and then that way we wouldn't have to increase all of the residences. It's just something we could possibly look at for all the businesses that we have.
okay.
Yeah. And my other question was, hadn't had time to go through the charter and look, but I was under the understanding that the charter capped us at like $500,000 total for real estate tax collection. Is that accurate? You got one from
Mm-hmm.
you? Alright.
I've got the charter here,
Oh, shoot, probably easier for her to find.
and we're not,
I didn't know,
Have
I didn't know if there was a, I understand, but I didn't know if there was a cap on this, or, you know what I mean,
there
like,
usually is.
okay.
In most charters that I've seen in the past, I haven't looked at this one, because I know somebody had said 500,000 and I knew we weren't near that.
No,
We're
no.
still not even near that, right?
No. But it's good to know where we, you know what I mean, it's good to know where we stand and get it on record, this is where we're at, you know?
Well, we're not gonna stay sure, because our property values increase so freaking high. What are you trying to say, you wanna say something?
I can understand while looking stuff up, wanting to maybe parse out on
We do.
businesses.
Yeah.
But I'd be really careful, because most of our businesses in town are small businesses. And jumping taxes on them, where, I'll just say, I'm more of a fan
That's
of
good thinking.
sharing the load, shall we say,
I would agree, because
across the board.
we've only got a few big businesses
Yeah.
for now.
But that is something that could also help with, tax rate to roll them down. But the-
45 cents isn't a bad price to use.
No,
It balances your
If
budget
it- That's what we,
and it's feasible.
in all
for
honesty,
people
that's
to-
what we, in all honesty, we don't wanna raise taxes, obviously, we don't wanna raise taxes. But to keep the town afloat, it needs, stuff needs to be done. unfortunately.
I will research that amount and get you a definite.
I wasn't trying, I was just
But
curious.
we're not
So
even at that amount anyway.
No,
so.
no, we're nowhere near it, but like, whenever you find out, just let me know. I was curious, I know I'd heard it, and I wanted to double check it.
Right, so that, I mean, it's,
At 45, that puts us, like you said, what, 80,000 to the good?
No, it puts us
$79.
$79 to the good.
$79 over budget.
Whereas where we're at
Or
right now.
under budget, yeah.
I don't think we're gonna,
I don't think we get
we're
lower than
gonna be
that.
able to shave
We
anything.
can't go any lower than that.
We can't
go any
We
lower
don't
than
wanna
that.
go any higher than that right now, but that's more feasible. This allows your residents to see what they're gonna pay this year, and then you can always readdress it next year and increase it by 5 cents
Right, and,
next year and see what it looks like.
and again, a lot of these numbers, they may not be, most of them are probably accurate, a lot of the actual pictures, but some of them may not be.
So I will say, these two lines here, this 20% increase, we have no idea what the rates are gonna be yet. That was just, I've seen it go up as much as 27% in a year, and that 20% increase may be a high projection, but like I said, I've seen it go up 27% in a year, so I felt comfortable projecting a 20% increase. So these two lines may drop substantially depending on what
They come back
what,
with it.
what they come back at. Same with this one, we don't have rates for this yet, they won't give us rates until probably December.
We're past that point.
We're gonna need to be prepared to have budget amendment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna need a lot of budget amendments, yes, throughout next year.
We know, all right, so what's the good that we know? Good is we know what it, like, salaries.
Mhm.
We also know that the water bill comes in every month, and that averages, you know, it's $24,000, I think, it's like
Mhm.
300 grand a year.
About
like
that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's things that we know for sure,
The numbers that we know for sure,
the
yes.
numbers that we know for sure.
Yes,
So the question comes in, thinking ahead on what the town is going to need. You know, like, is there any infrastructure project outside of, I know there was a town hall thing, but is there anything pressing that any council person could think of? You know,
I mean, we were obviously talking about the water tower. However, that's not needed as we've known right now. It's not needed now.
No.
It's not a pressure thing that we need to have right now. And when the water tower comes about, we can deal with,
When the water
fees.
tower comes about, we'll have developers that'll be wanting to come in and stuff like that.
It's the fees on, yes, on the
Correct.
people, the people that want to provide infrastructure here for businesses or developments. So that's, I don't think that's something we need to be focused on.
We just had a bunch of streets and stuff done. and
They've
everything.
just paid a lot of the streets, so the streets are good.
I can't, do you have some?
yeah, you were reminding me, so you keep going.
No, no, like, we just had a bunch of streets repaved, stuff like that. The only thing I can think of is like some of the, we got a few sidewalks here and there, but I mean, we could probably try to find some grants for that, maybe help out.
I had 272. So that's.
Well, Street Master Flash, also known as Mike Moran.
Street Master Flash.
Is there any,
That
is,
you can think of?
AJ's bringing up, can you think of any areas, cause I know this is something you always
The only
focus on.
street I know that's left that needs to be paved is Second Street, all the way around.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that one hasn't been touched, and I think all the other ones, we'd have to look at Green Street. First Street's already been done.
First Street doesn't belong to us.
But First Street's a state maintained.
What, AJ, do you know where the sidewalks are?
And then you have your sidewalk from Market Street, all the way down here, cause in the past, I've watched the sidewalk project come in, and I see the sidewalk people dictate on what sidewalks come and where they skip this one, it's this one. If you're gonna do a sidewalk
Market Street?
project,
Okay.
Market Street needs to be done completely, all the way down.
But that's.
But on that north end,
Yeah, but isn't that-
you have a asset to get sidewalk put in and redone up there because of Wawa being there.
No, so
That-
east
that
end.
was-
Well, Wawa
This
should be
is
the one.
stuff that.
Wawa should be
typically-
the
Wawa
one
should-
taking care of that
But
sidewalk.
this is typically CTF funds that we would bid the project, then you go to your local representative. Like, this isn't something that's necessarily town budget.
Right, they're talking like Jesse or somebody.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
But you need the Market Street sidewalk on both sides of the road, that's where we need to be.
But that's that's not town.
But those aren't town monies, that's what I'm asking, any
The town can
infrastructure.
do that.
Okay,
But we can get it.
But if you look in your ordinance, back in the day, I had this argument with
town, that's something we gotta get.
Randy and Donnie here.
okay,
You know what I
The
mean?
sidewalks are owned by the homeowner.
Checked out,
right,
'cause that's on
That's
us.
what's in our, that's what's in, okay.
that is.
You're responsible to maintain it
Painting curbs.
and keep
But
it
that's-
clean.
That, it's making.
But as far as
Just right.
replacing it, I mean, we get a grant
And
to
that-
there's
replace all
nothing-
the sidewalks.
there's no water
Especially the
pressure,
state, we
there's
probably
nothing
use a
before
grant
it
to get a
comes,
grant
there's
to
no
replace
water
that
main
sidewalk when you come into the
that
town,
needs,
especially
that's
that
about to
road.
blow out or something.
No, 'cause the last major thing they had done was down by the railroad tracks where they had that collapse or whatever, and they finished that up.
The only thing we really need to know is, Rihanna might be able to answer this question, is you've got all these water meters, and the last I knew, I knew somebody who had to have one replaced, it cost that homeowner $400
Do you want her moved today?
to have that meter replaced, cause he had to buy that meter because it was damaged.
Alright, I'll move her in.
So we have to figure out what the cost of the meters are. Are we gonna buy some to have in stock? So if a meter goes bad, Roger can go out there, take the lid off, unpull it, and replace it, not,
So we're not waiting on.
so you're not waiting on, you have the meters here, he can go out and pull them out and put them in, and you're not paying the Strocks to come in to do it, that's something that he physically can do himself.
So we just get a
Save
cost
it.
on meter
On
kits and
meters.
have a few
It's,
of them on
it's
hand.
just a meter, it's a spool, you unscrew it, you drop this one in, you screw it in, and it's done. That's some very simple, something that he can do that you can save money on, that your water guy can do himself. That we do not have to pay for the Strocks to come in to do.
That should save us some money down the line, okay.
Alright,
So, so realistically, there's no major projects that we have to be worried about within the
Not
next
unless
year.
something happens.
Or don't
well,
jinx us.
hold up, there's not necessarily, like outside of the streets and stuff, that's something that has to be figured out with, there are questions when it comes to the town hall. So I would say, hold up, that doesn't mean there isn't anything.
Well, the town,
Town hall paid for
The
it.
town hall funding was paid for.
yeah, town hall, so the town, but there's new
But
new stipulations with.
but yeah, there's some complications with it too.
Okay.
It was only, at first, it was budgeted for the new building, you know, that was it, not furniture and all, like upgrades and all these things that weren't part of it, so it's actually above the cost. The real issue though is, the money was more, this was something that I didn't articulate really well that night. The police department has to be accredited, not town hall.
Right.
So we build a new town hall, let's just say we go that road, they're still in the same we have to have the same issue,
Mhm.
and there's no money.
Correct.
We're actually going back and gonna have to ask, hey, now you gotta upgrade, you know, things in this building for the police department.
Well, the good,
I think we got a little backwards on that project. I know, Mayor, you wanna say something too,
Yeah.
but it's something to think about. Yeah, we have the money, and I think it's, you get it for 2 or 3 years, don't quote me, to do a project, something like that.
mhm.
I have to check with, Jesse and see what the timeline
It'd
is.
be, I think Senator Wilson gave the money.
Was it-
I think,
was it Wilson?
I think so,
Okay.
but
Well,
it's, long and the short is,
Right.
it's still something that's hanging there.
The good news is, that I found out, is that grant does not have to specifically be for a new town hall. We can use that same grant that we got approved for to renovate this town hall. Meaning, it will solve both the problems of us needing a new town hall and also chief with upgrading his side for the police to be accredited. We don't need to purchase a brand new town hall.
So I thought the issue was because the electrical and plumbing
That's-
system and the access.
That $300,000, the money we got approved for
Okay.
includes all of that renovation to have separate. It's been done multiple times before.
Okay.
One of the quotes that Ms. Todd said she couldn't get is actually the company that deals with old banks. They've done it multiple times with other towns,
Okay.
and they actually take an old bank and they renovate it completely. And they will refurbish this building here itself for a new town hall, as well as refurbish the police department. So that $300,000, instead of just putting a new town hall in the parking lot here, can be used to refurbish all of this, and also to help out with the police department with the accreditation.
Okay.
Including moving the boiler, the electric, all of that is included in that grant.
Are we going to be able to expand any of this room out? so
And all
we
we
can
have to get
accommodate-
quotes for it, obviously. We got a quote for 300.
No, no, these are just
I would like to,
questions.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I would like to at least withstand, I mean, the council room chambers a little bit bigger so we can have more people sit here. Obviously, it needs to be done. We segregate our offices, make it a little bit more viable for our employees here.
Right.
That would make the most sense instead of just putting $300,000 on a new town hall, just a brand new one. We can use it to renovate this building itself.
Well,
So I don't think that's an expense we really need to, I mean, it's obviously something we need to look at and figure out if we can maybe get a quote quickly. I don't know if that's gonna be possible enough for this budget, on how much it would cost. I don't think it would be even done by next year anyway, if they had to refurbish this. But that's something that we can look at.
I just brought it up because it is a project
Mhm.
that we have to do something.
Yep.
You know, not saying it's gotta be 2026, but obviously, hey, what are we doing with that?
Chief, just as thought being as they're throwing that out, when you got credited, did they give you a timeline on when your new space needed to be up and running?
So these were just things they pointed out that could possibly be issues in the future. So they're pushing it out now that we're basically giving a percentage of how much. So instead of waiting on another 3 years to be reaccredited again and running into a whole bunch of issues at one time and stalling, basically they're coming in and asking for 25% this year, 25% next year. And then at the 3rd year mark, then we'll go back for our full reaccreditation. So we're not trying to do 100% of it all at one time on that 3rd year. So there's steps that we're taking, they're pushing out new standards pretty much regularly that we're trying to meet. Some of the big problems are still access control. We have issues with access control. We definitely need upgraded systems. Holding areas, I'm still pushing off on, having that MOU with Troop 5 to meet the standards that we're taking people with Troop 5. Obviously, it's not ideal long-term just to have an MOU with an outside agency to continue to use their facilities. We're gonna wanna upgrade our facilities at some point. It's not like they came and said, you gotta have this done by this date or we're gonna have an issue.
That being said, I had another in brain fart while I was sitting here thinking while they were all talking. If we have that little piece of property that's back here, if we renovated this part that they're talking about and taken a portion of that money and built a little pole barn back there that you guys were able to drive in, like you were talking about, and being able to remove the prisoner, put them in the holding cell there, have it separated for your children and the adults, females, males, females, bathrooms for them, your office space over there to do what you need to do, and still have this over here, would that be feasible?
Of course, yeah, I mean, adding the addition of the Sally Port would, answer a lot of those requests. And then obviously the upgrading of the processing and holding areas is a major concern. But my largest concern right now is that access control. So that's what we have to get up to date from.
How long, how long, do you think you can continue with keeping up with the accreditation percentage-wise with the building that you have here now?
We're scraping by.
Scraping by, so it had to be done this year, is what?
I can't give you a timeline.
Okay.
It's one of those things that they presented us with the things that we need to focus on. And again, it's not like they came back and said, this is the date, if you don't have this done, you're gonna have issues. It's not like that. They're working with us to ensure that, we get past the reaccreditation and, we're finding ways, creative ways, like an MOU with Troop 5 to say, hey, if we have multiple prisoners or we have a male and female prisoner, our standard operating procedure now is to respond right to Troop 5 and utilize their holding cells that are in compliance. So.
The only reason I ask is.
As I like to say, that's a Band-Aid. And then
Still gotta
you
solve
don't
the
have
problems, gotta be
a
solved.
Greenwood police officer in town because we're down in
Right.
Bridgeville with our prisoners in custody.
Right.
So,
I gotta be honest with you, man, I was an electrician for years before I ended up as a truck driver, and the logistics of trying to renovate a building and run two separate businesses out of it is just, honestly, it's laughable. I mean, we got the money to build a new building, I understand the furniture's an issue, but you deserve to have more of a building than just, well, we're gonna work out of this piece and you work out of this piece. Like, you were promised a whole building, you should get a whole building. We'll have to work out the logistics of the furniture and all that equipment and stuff like that. There are grants, we can apply for other funding, I'm sure. And this is, we've gotten way off topic of the budget itself with the whole town hall thing, but I really think two separate buildings would be best for everybody involved.
I mean, and I think my concern is we have the money secured to build a new town hall.
Correct.
And I would be ultimately at some point in time granted the entirety of this building. But where am I gonna get the money to refurbish this
Correct.
building? So I'd be granted a shell
Mhm.
and
Stuff
I
like
still
that.
have to have walls moved around, renovations made. And that's gonna be an expensive project,
That you have to find money for.
that I gotta now find money for.
That might be
It's not very easy to find money to renovate a police department.
Right.
Right.
There's not a lot of people writing checks for that,
Right.
for lack of a better term. So, it would be great to have my own building, but, you know, to be king of an empty castle is kind of a pointless task, you know?
No, I get that, it's just gonna be rough one way or the other.
Yeah, and it's a hard decision to make. I mean,
Yeah.
we all have needs that we need to meet. I'm willing to do whatever the council's best decision is, and when you guys decide, I'll work with it.
Okay.
And, you know,
I appreciate it, I'm
So I think at this point, the best thing to do would be to schedule a future workshop to discuss this and really delve into it, decide which direction we wanna go,
Mhm.
and go from there.
Yeah, first we need to resubmit it for the grant approval.
Right.
Just to make sure that's, cause I was told we can get that done and set. So, since we've already been approved for the money, it's just a rewording of it. Instead of a new building, it's renovation. And that can happen in what I was told in January, we can get the approval for, just switching the monies around, particularly to a new building to renovations of this one.
Either, well, like, have it worded as either or.
We could try it that way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can try it that way.
way you cover your bases
In
all the
case
way.
we decide that way, yep.
Right.
Yep. I mean, just personally, in my opinion, I think in the state that the town is, with the money that we have and the police department that we need to keep, I think it would make best sense to use that money for both the police and town hall. That way, the police can still, chief doesn't have to worry about finding more money to figure out how he's gonna be accredited. We can expand it to what he needs, he can still have the salary report, he can still have everything that he needs to have to make sure that he is accredited, and he is relieved of the stress of trying to figure out how to keep this accreditation going by finding out monies and workaround and Band-Aids to keep this police department alive. If we have the money there and we split it up and then, I mean, it only makes sense to me to use the money for both the town and the police. You know, especially just like Chief was saying, if we just give him this building, he's still got this building to deal with, and he's gotta figure out how to make it work for him for the credit. If we can use that money, the grant money, to help him with that, I think that would be, in my decision, that would be the best option. And I know we promised Chief a new building, but there's workarounds that, we can make the old building a new building with everything that he needs, and I think once that happens, it's a lot less stress off of him to even have to worry about accreditations anymore, and then he can focus on his task at hand. But I'm not speaking for Chief, I just think that's what he would feel.
Alright, well, hell, let's get it rewritten so it's either or, and then we'll approach it and we'll get there and see what we got.
Okay, so
Okay,
that's,
can we move on with the
yeah,
budget?
yes, we can.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think that's what we were talking about with monies and what.
Yeah, I brought up projects.
He brought up projects, and that's why we got
That
him.
project.
You're welcome, Donnie.
But
Yeah,
that
thank you.
project,
Just blame Donnie.
but that project has nothing to do with this budget,
Well, whatever we needed to spend money on it, Donnie.
but I mean, you know, just like the young lady said, we could have a workshop to
Yeah,
discuss all this
you're right,
stuff.
you're right.
Alright.
Is that the meter cost us $3,000 for a meter?
No, that is just, we were up here. So that's money collected.
Okay,
And then honestly, realistically, we should have an expense line for that $3,000. Because, oh, we do, right here. Because you're just gonna turn around and pay it back out to the vendor that we purchased our meters from.
okay.
I need my mind refreshed a little bit, it's been a while since I've done a budget with the town of Greenwood. We can vote on parts of the budget, correct?
Well, there's no voting tonight. Tonight is just
It's
discussion.
just workshop, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you,
You're
sorry, I'm
No, that's okay.
drawing a blank on, cause I was thinking of the I was trying to establish things to nail out, like,
Right.
do we agree on the 45 cents per hundred, do we agree with the slight increase, you know, for town staff,
that's
okay,
what we
we
look
got
at.
that part
I think
done.
we need to look at that now, well, we can't vote on it, but.
I know, I
That's
just,
right,
that's
that's what
why
we're saying.
Rhiannon was kind enough.
Mm-hmm,
Another
to let us know.
fact that we can sit here and physically see, I thought this screen,
You like it?
very, very helpful.
It's the same thing, except we're blocking everybody else, we can't see y'all.
We know they're there.
We can ignore him.
I can see you just
I can
fine.
hear you.
I can see you
We
just
know
fine.
they're there. Alright,
Donnie can't see anything, just the screen.
So I will say also that I know we're questionable about the information we're getting out of QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of these numbers are numbers that I used concrete information to, come up with.
Okay.
Some of these, I can't speak to where past, like, this is a perfect example here, where this amount came from. Let me highlight so you can see what we're talking about. I have no idea how this amount was arrived at, because I can't find any kind of backup for how these numbers were generated in the past. But I did make it a point to explain it over here, and that helps me out as well next year. And in the future, you know, how did I come up with this? So just so everybody knows where these numbers came from.
That's fantastic, okay. Yeah, where would if that was the case, where did we pick $3,000?
Couldn't have picked up on that.
what was that, Donnie?
Nothing. I mean, that number, you're talking about that number, $3,000, and Carolyn, I believe, didn't you get a $8,000 check from one place for rental property?
Yeah.
So if you got $8,000 from one place,
Yeah, so where did $3,000 come from? That was my biggest worry, is looking at that, because, I mean,
Yeah.
where did these numbers actually come? The old budget is what I'm saying, where did they come
Yeah.
from?
Almost a page or something.
We talked about it a little bit, but the, moving the, legal expenses all under one,
I did do that.
okay? So breaking it out between town police department doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't know why the police department would be charged for legal expenses to really, I mean, they don't deal with our attorneys hardly at all, they shouldn't.
They don't, they have their own.
Right, so I don't know why,
They shouldn't.
so why was there a budget for their attorney fees?
I budgeted that because, you know, things like what I emailed you today.
Mhm.
If we have to seek legal
It goes
counsel on
to them.
that realistically
Okay.
should be charged against the police department.
Okay,
So
Okay.
that's why I had separated it out, but they expressed that they wanted it back into one lump sum or
Yeah.
one lump amount, so I pushed it back up into just legal service.
I think it'd be better, I see where you're coming from with that 100%. I just hope that doesn't happen a lot, it shouldn't.
No, that's why I didn't have a whole lot in there for them.
Okay.
Since we're not making any decisions tonight, I'll make a motion to adjourn if nobody has any more questions.
Can I,
Is
can we
there
get a copy
anything
of
here
that?
Yeah, with the
Yes.
changes, I will, and that's why I highlighted it. so you
Yeah,
can
as
see.
long as we can get a copy of that, we can we can look at all of this and then,
Yeah,
then it'll give us better ideas on what questions we need to have.
a
Yeah.
copy of the proposed budgets and that, yeah.
Yep, 100%.
And if there's anything you guys want me to research or look further into,
Oh,
I'm happy to.
Okay,
And we can get that workshop scheduled, before January.
yes.
In
Okay.
terms of these for everybody.
What do we need before January?
Guys that are gonna be here this week.
Real quick before you adjourn, because pertains to the budget, there's something that you guys need to be made aware of. So the handbook, and I have it here, says that employees can only carry over 1 week's vacation annually. We have several employees who have substantially more than 1 week sitting on the books, so I'm guessing this policy hasn't been followed in the past. And just so you're aware, one of those payouts is $71,000 in vacation sitting on books. And another one is $10,000. So if either of these employees leave our employment, the handbook says that they get paid this amount. So that also needs to be figured into the budget, you know, if we projected retirements and things like that. So in the future, and we need to figure out the best way to deal with this, because, you know, that's a very large sum.
Then it must be have something to add into the budget in case they keep it.
So, and
Question is how
to,
to get that far.
They're using it, right. Right.
They were supposed to take, they're supposed to take at least a week.
right,
It should never get that far. Either you use it by a certain date or you lose it.
and to further complicate this, the employee at 71,000 will get 5 weeks of vacation January 1, and the employee at 10,000 will get 3 weeks of vacation on January 1.
But right in the handbook it says they can't, they have to do it
So-
annually and can't carry on.
Right, so I'm not sure, like, we need to figure out how to address this.
I mean, it's clearly, okay. I mean, it's clear in the handbook, but we'll take a look at it. I mean, it says right in the handbook that they're required to take the vacations, and they can't require more than 1 week. We have to look in to see how much they require, if they took the vacation, and if they acquired that week all the times that these employees were here, that's a different story, but if they took that's something we gotta look at. You said it's 71,000
Yes.
for one, and 10,000 for the other one, so
Yes.
$81,000.
So in other words, they haven't taken any vacation?
Well, one employee is earning, like I said, 5 weeks a year, and I assume hasn't, I mean, I can't answer that. I could do an audit if you'd like me to, but I didn't go that far into it. And previous to that was earning 4 weeks a year for 5 years. So,
Okay. Alright, we'll keep that in the bag. So
That may be,
Doesn't look quite.
That's something we need to take a dive into and, look at these employees and, determine what weeks they took off to accrue that many weeks.
The question is, was it approved? That's the thing.
well, and that's my other question. Was this ever brought to the council for approval?
I just became one, so not that I'm aware of, not when I've been on council.
Well, not since me either, but
You
that's
too.
kinda new. I was gonna say,
Well, they came back to council one time to be able to take, I think, an additional week, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it was something Roger,
An additional week.
it was something
They
they,
can carry over, this says you can only carry a week.
yeah,
And then it came back and you had to come back before council, and council had to give you the approval to do that.
Yes.
if not, you
And I
lost.
think we came back and gave approval for them to carry an additional, one additional week,
Every year,
No,
or
just
just
that
that
one
year?
month.
1 year.
That
So
one
we'll
year.
have to research the
Yeah.
minutes to see what's been approved in the past. But like I said, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page here.
Okay.
thanks, not saying it couldn't be an issue, but the way this reads, you can only carry over 1 week.
Uh-huh.
It's approved by town council. If that person is, through termination or retirement, would only get that 1 week.
The 1 week.
That's how that reads.
See, cause we did
No,
it because we
Not 7
had
weeks.
previous employees who left and we paid a large amount of money.
and you brought up the issue of a set precedent.
Doesn't matter.
That's gonna be a legal fee.
Probably.
Let's,
Let's put that in a.
It's
no,
fine,
a
I
special
just,
meeting
but you see where I'm at.
A executive session.
It doesn't mean.
To look at this?
You're gonna have to, that way it's not
It's precedent of
public,
meeting.
public
anyway.
and stuff, cause it's personnel.
We'll add that,
I could
we're gonna have to add that,
do
yeah,
different, I could
You're
pay
gonna have to have
somebody
this
else.
executive.
we're gonna have to
I'm
have an
just saying.
executive session at some point to go over all of this and.
Because it's personnel matter.
Personnel
Yeah,
matters, so we
exactly.
can't talk about this.
Holy
in
cow.
But that's something we need to look at.
What they've been doing.
Mr. Mayor, I think we should got the young lady over there do her research to get us some answers. on
I agree.
something we don't have.
100%, I agree.
Motion
that's
to
good to know.
adjourn.
Before we adjourn, I would like to, no, it's nothing crazy. I let the office staff know today, November 12th, our meeting November 12th, I will not be able to attend. My boss needs me to cover the evening shift for that night, so I had plenty of heads up. I wanted to let everybody know.
Okay.
Cool.
I try to keep you all appraised of everything, and it's kinda crazy, so I got it covered.
And just so, Mr. Mayor, just so you know, after our last meeting, I was told about some stuff that was on Facebook. Just so the town people know, the mayor has the right to vote on every business that's brought before this table. If he chooses not to vote, that's his right, but he does have the right to vote on anything that is brought before this table.
Yep.
So whatever comment that was put out there is false, but in the town of Greenwood, under our charter and everything else, the mayor is a voting body, like the other four of us.
Thank you for making that number, because I saw the same thing, and it says it right in the charter that I am, so I have to vote. I make a vote on everything. Thank you, sir.
Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
The motion is from Mr. Donovan, we have a second by Mr. Moran. How do you vote?
I vote yes.
Mr. Massey?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Moran?
Yes?
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
All in favor? Adjourn. I have. I'm gonna sign this check. Huh?
We offline?
Okay, I'm gonna say hello, cause I didn't get to say hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I didn't get a chance to say hi